What's up guys, Ryan with Cycle News. Welcome to our 2023 450 Motocross Shootout. This is some of the most fun we get to have all year round when we get to test all the new 450 motocross bikes. We've had 6 different test riders over 2 different days at 2 different tracks. It's a lot of man hours, it's a lot of work, but it's super rewarding when we get to bring you the results like this. Big shout out to all the manufacturers that came out, all the gear brands that supported us with gear for this test, and the tracks for letting us come out and ride. So first up, we have the 2023 Yamaha YZ450F. The Yamaha has an MSRP of $98.99 and a wet weight of 241 pounds. This is likely the most anticipated bike in this year's test. The YZ enters an entirely new generation with a complete ground-up redesign. New frame, new motor, practically new everything. The Yamaha shed 5 pounds from last year, and 3 of that comes out of the engine alone. They've upped the rev limiter for increased power in the top-end range, and they've also attempted to ditch that wide front-end feeling with new, slimmer bodywork in the rider cockpit. Familiar KYB suspension and the easy-to-use Power Tuner app are back for 2023, but the big question is, after years of winning shootouts, will the new YZF still be a contender for the win? In 4th place, we have the Yamaha YZ450F, and it finds itself in a similar predicament as the Husqvarna, an all-new model year and a variety of rider opinions. We had high hopes for the Yamaha as the previous generation dominated shootouts for the past few years, and no doubt the Yamaha has the strongest motor of this group. The new engine is faster, revs higher, and maintains that tractability that we liked from last year's bike. It has a torquey bottom end that pulls wheelies out of the inside rut and transitions seamlessly into a meaty mid-range. They've bumped up the rev limiter by 500 RPMs, which puts the Yamaha on par with the Austrian bikes as you near the engine's red line. 2 maps are available via the handlebar switch, and you can still use the Yamaha Power Tuner app to add multiple maps into that, or choose your favorite one to upload it into the bike. Continuing with the newness is the overall cockpit and rider triangle. Finally, Yamaha has pretty much eliminated that wide feeling that seemed to be our only complaint from the previous generation. Now the bike is sharp and narrow while still maintaining that front-facing airbox. And that design is also quieter and doesn't make as much of that vacuum noise that it did from last year. This is probably the thinnest YZ we can remember aside from the 2-stroke models. Yamaha brings back KYB suspension components for this year. This has always been a strong suit of the Yamaha, but finding balance this year was a bit harder than we have found in the years past. It felt like when we got the front end dialed, the rear felt out of line and unpredictable, and vice versa. When the rear felt stable, the front end seemed vague or felt like it was going to knife in the corner. We know there's potential, but simply 2 days of testing and trying to find the setup is what hindered the Yamaha's overall ranking. We have to give Yamaha credit for stepping things up with the new toolless adjusters on the fork, as it makes tuning them on the side of the track easier than ever. In terms of fit, finish, and overall quality, the Yamaha is right up there with the best of them. The Power Tuner app is a great tool to have for tuning the engine or checking your basic maintenance intervals. Unfortunately, we just had a hard time finding a good setup on this bike in our 2 days of testing, and that's what really hindered the Yamaha in the overall rankings. 3 of these bikes were all new this year: the KTM, the Yamaha, and the Husqvarna, while the other 3 bikes received small or actually no updates. The Honda certainly wins best dressed, the Yamaha takes the honors for the strongest motor, Kawasaki is a close second, but KTM earns the best overall. With more time on each of these rigs or bolting on our own personal parts like bars, pegs, levers, etc., we could easily mold any of these bikes into a race day superstar. But for now, we take them as they are in stock form and wait until next year to continue the shootout action. Thank you guys so much for watching. That wraps up this year's 2023 450 Motocross Shootout. You'll be able to find a full write-up, spec sheet, and photos in the Cycle News magazine. You can check those out every Tuesday at cyclenews.com for free. Thank you to all the gear brands and manufacturers who contributed to our test this year. Until next time, guys, we'll see you out at the track.